It's been another big week in the world of Flight Sim, and now that we've had the hangover from FSExpo, we've still got many announcements and release news this week, including some information about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, so let's jump into the video. Kicking off at this week's previews announcements, the team over at FS Dream Team have announced 3D passengers inside its aircraft with GSX Pro. The team showcased this new update at the expo, which will include adding animated passengers inside your aircraft, each with their own animation set. The team mentioned this will provide a very low and unimpactful addition to the sim. This is due to the LOD models that have been created to ensure performance is at its priority. No details of when we'll see these new additions to GSX and the sim, but we'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out the footage for yourself. Aerosoft have teased us with the official video for the in-development Aerosoft A330 for Microsoft Flight Simulator. This video showcased detailed external interior along with animations and sounds of the 330. We got to see the EFB with interaction with Navigraph charts. This video didn't contain too much footage when it comes to working systems and displays, but the video did describe that the Airbus A330 from Aerosoft will release soon. Taking a look at the latest from the Aerosoft forums, the team did mention that the A330 would not release in the next 2 weeks, and we have been informed by Aerosoft before that they would give us a 2-week notice before the aircraft is released into the sim. That means we've got well over a month before we'll see the A330 in our virtual skies still. Builds announced over on last week's Flight Sim Expo about their next airliner in development, which is the freighter version of the A300, which is the 600F. The team have designed a bunch of cargo loads that is to be included in the package to help create the story of why fly the 600. Some of these have been showcased during the teaser video, and there is more to come. During an interview with the FS Elite team about the Airbus A300-600, the team did mention about another in-development Airbus on the way. This is a long hauler this time, and if we have a look at the Build's existing fleet of aircraft on other platforms, perhaps we may see the Beluga aircraft, or could it be something else? Of course, if we hear any news about this new long hauler Airbus, we will keep you posted here on the channel. Heatblur, the team behind the highly praised F-14 Tomcat over on DCS Worlds earlier this year, announced they're partnering up with Indio Fox Echo to bring the F-14 to Microsoft Flight Simulator. This week, the Heatblur team showcased a teaser video of the F-14 working and flying in the simulator. Other than a quick teaser cinematic video, we don't have any other information about the development's release date, but what we can see, it looks amazing at this stage, and of course, we'll keep you posted on what's happening with the F-14 Tomcat. Moving over to this week's release news, and kicking off our first release for the week is from Vitiva, hopefully I said that correctly, as they released their second product for Microsoft Flight Simulator, this one being the Skyhawk A4E. The Skyhawk is a single-seater subsonic carrier-capable attack aircraft. It was designed and developed in the early 50s by the Douglas Aircraft Company and first flew in 1954. It was introduced in 1956 with its final aircraft retiring in 2015 with the Israel Air Force. Primarily was used by the US Air Force during the life of the Skyhawk. It saw over 2,900 of the aircraft being produced. The Vitiva version of the Skyhawk comes with 9 unique Skyhawk models with 4 separate flight dynamic categories, multiple bomber and missile layout, multiple liveries, high detail model, high detail cockpit, great details when it comes to the WISE sound pack and functional radar unit. You can pick up your copy of the Vitiva Skyhawk A4 directly from the Sim Market store. I'll leave a link in the description below. Apex Gaming PCs and the Oz Flight Sim channel have partnered up to create a range of gaming flight sim PCs tailored to flight simulation pilots in mind. The private pilot and the commercial pilot range has been designed to provide a great frame rates if you are on a budget, or if you're an experienced simmer and want to take your simming to the next level. You can even customize to suit your virtual pilot needs. Links in the description below if you want to check out the new range of Oz Flight Sim PCs, the private pilot and the commercial pilot. Moving on to our next release for the week, and this one just missed out the video last week by a little bit. This one is from Nemes Designs, releasing their second helicopter for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which is the S300 CBI. The 300 CBI is a single-engine light trainer utility helicopter designed by the Schweizer and the Sikorsky helicopter companies. It's known for its low maintenance, cost reliability, and a staple for flight training and agriculture and also general aviation use. Features include is a detailed, accurate visual model, detailed 4K textures, realistic flight dynamics based on real-world data, realistic airport operations based on real-world pilot and operation manuals, realistic aircraft operations are based on real-world pilot and operation manuals. 10 deliveries are included, and you can pick up your copy from their store or over on the Marketplace store, and it's available for both Xbox and PC. Links in the description below. Moving on to this week's sim update news. In the last couple of weeks, the Microsoft team have been very busy releasing a number of releases, including the aircraft avionics update featuring the Dreamliner and the 747, as well as City Update 2, which was for the French cities, and also the Ford Tri-Motor, which was released last week. This week we've seen more releases from the team, including City Update 3, which was Texas. This was released and announced during last week's Expo to celebrate the local area of the Expo where it was held, and the team had this update available for simmers at the Expo to try out, and now it's time to be released to the world audience. By the time you watch this video, we should see another release from the team, which is the next local legend aircraft, which is the Boeing 307 Stratoliner. This aircraft first flew in 1938 and it's gained its roots from the B-17 Flying Fortress. The Boeing 307 was the first airliner that had a revenue service with a pressurized cabin. Its supercharged engines allowed it to cruise above the weather at 20,000 feet. Only 10 of these were built, with none in action today. Only one surviving 307 remains in a museum today. The Stratoliner will be available from the InSim Marketplace from the 30th of June. Moving on from June releases over to July releases, we should see the next local legend aircraft, also a famous flyer, and the unannounced next world update, which you haven't seen any confirmed dates from the team just yet, but hopefully we'll see this very, very soon. Moving on from releases from Microsoft, during last week's Expo, we gained a lot more understanding from the Microsoft team about the new simulator that was announced for 2024. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check out all our Flight Simulator 2024 coverage, and consider subscribing if you'd like to stay up to date with all the 2024 Flight Sim development news. We'll be covering all of it right up to release. During the Expo, Jorg, the CEO of Flight Sim, gave many interviews about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 announcement, but there was one particular interview when he was asked why was the announcement given out so far in advance. I thought that was a good question to discuss, and in his response he said it is a sim platform. When you're a platform, you need to give people that work on the platform enough time to do something with their products. He also went on and mentioned that the team knows that the sim will launch in 2024, but there are exactly sure when exactly it will be. It all depends on the flighting and how the development goes, but he did mention they need to give third-party development companies enough time to make adjustments to the product. So basically the announcement gives the third-party developers a heads up, and at some point they will receive the SDK, which will be available for the third-party developers to make change to the current product. They want to take advantage of the new sim technology. They don't have to. Their current products will work the same, but if you want to take advantage of what the sim has to offer, they will have time to do that. Jorg went on and mentioned something really important, and he said from the announcement it's going to be about a year to a year and a half from we will see the launch of the simulator. From those comments we saw from Jorg, we shouldn't expect to see the sim available to mid to end 2024, so we're definitely not going to see it at the start of the year. Continuing on to this week's backlog list, we've seen a reduction of 114 products waiting to be released on the marketplace, down from 367 to 262 new products. When it comes to aircraft releases, it stayed the same on 41 with 8 aircraft on the priority list, but no changes in this week or last week at this stage when it comes to aircraft. I'm not any wiser when it comes to how the priority list is working, as we haven't seen any of those aircraft or those 8 aircraft move in the last couple of weeks. Airports are down by 18, the sceneries are down by 99, which include night lighting packs. Liveries and missions have stayed the same. This gives you a bit of an idea of what we're about to see with this week's marketplace releases. Speaking of this week's marketplace releases, we've seen 2 new aircraft released this week. One is our weekly helicopter drop from MS Sceneries, this one being the Apache helicopter, and the other aircraft is the Flying Irons BF-109, which was released just a while ago on PC, but now is available in the marketplace for both for PC and Xbox users. The majority of the rest of the updates have been made up of over 50 night lighting packs. Holy dooly, it's actually more than that. I'll stop counting at 50, that must be a world record. A handful of airports and also a few livery packs this week. We'll cross our fingers we'll see some more aircraft releases in the next update, and maybe if you hit that subscribe button, that may help and we may see some more aircraft releases. We at the Oz Flight Simulator channel appreciate all your support. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the content that we create, and consider subscribing if you want to stay up to date with all the Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024 development news. And of course, thank you very much for your support.